Hey guys, welcome back to Film Title. Today we'll talk about the most nauseating moments on Dr. Pimple Popper. Let's head into it. Number 1. Scrambled egg lipoma. Throughout the pandemic, celebrity dermatologist Dr. Sandra Lee, best known by her moniker Dr. Pimple Popper, has had no shortage of lumps and bumps to pop. Dr. P discussed her latest patient's treatment, which required cutting into an orange-sized lipoma on her shoulder blade. In a YouTube video posted on March 24, a lipoma is a fat-filled growth that develops between the muscle layer and the skin layer of a person. Lipomas usually grow slowly and are modest, with a diameter of around 2 inches. In one woman's situation, her lipoma had grown larger and more apparent over the course of 6 years, so she opted to have it removed. Although lipomas are not malignant, they can cause discomfort as they grow in certain regions, such as the base of the neck, according to Lee. In certain circumstances, removal may be beneficial. Dr. P began treating the patient by injecting a numbing solution around the affected area. She then used the surgical blade to cut through the lipoma center, revealing a lumpy and yellow fat deposit beneath the skin surface. Lee then dug into the incision with her fingers and the tip of her scissors. She also tried to push the growth out of the woman's skin by squeezing the outside of it. Dr. P noted in the video's description that lipomas are enclosed in a tiny sac beneath the skin surface, which allowed them to pop out of the skin with one push. After a few minutes of struggling with the lipoma, a fat deposit broke the surface, which Dr. Pimple Popper was able to cut away. Despite this, she didn't obtain the entire lipoma because fibers under the woman's skin acted as netting, keeping the lipoma in place. Because of its difficult to remove nature, Lee referred to the growth as a nuisance and bossy as she squeezed and pushed around the skin. Dr. Pimple Popper was able to catch the last lump of fat with tweezers and remove it out of the skin, leaving a gaping hole. 10 minutes later, she used surgical stitches to close the wound and advised the patient to limit her shoulder movement for the following 10 days. Lee also noted to the patient that her challenging situation was unsurprising, given that the skin on the back is often thicker, making lipomas more likely to become caught, as hers did. Number 2. Fossilized rock. Dr. Pimple Popper reunited with an old patient, removing a new cyst that had formed on his chest since her last visit 6 months ago. Dr. P documented the surgery in a YouTube video that was recorded on March 5th. The patient initially sought treatment from the celebrity dermatologist for a rash of steatocystomas on his face, neck, and scalp. Steatocystoma multiplex is a skin disorder characterized by the development of multiple non-cancerous cysts known as steatocystomas. The growths begin in the skin's sebaceous glands, which normally produce an oily substance called sebum that lubricates the skin and hair. Steatocystomas are filled with sebum. According to the National Institutes of Health, steatocystomas are little raised lumps loaded with oil and fat from the skin glands. On the chest, upper arms, and face, they tend to appear in clusters. The non-cancerous growths are thought to be the result of genetic abnormalities, according to experts. Dr. Pimple Popper was able to visit him for another skin ailment, a chest cyst, after dedicating an 8-part video series to the patient, in which she dubbed this tiny lump Skittles. Unlike the small and numerous steatocystomas, the cyst simply required a single large squeeze to extract the majority of its contents. Lee began by making an incision on the top of the cyst and widening the opening with her scissors. After numbing the region, she did this. She next felt both sides of the incision with her fingertips to obtain a better picture of how big the cyst was. Skin cysts can occur for 2 causes. Some arise when skin cells burrow beneath the surface and multiply, forming a sac filled with keratin, a yellow liquid-like substance. A cyst can also form when skin glands release oil, which get trapped beneath the skin and creates a thick, cheese-like substance. Dr. P informed the patient it looks like a small fossilized rock, and that she was mentally preparing for the pop she was going to do. Lee stated it felt hard as she applied pressure to the outside of the incision. The growth then spurted a white granular material. Dr. P used her tweezers to capture the cyst mass and cut it out from the inside of the patient's skin with her scissors. His fiancée described it as lovely, while Dr. P described it as seashell-like. Lee used the cauterizing pen to halt the bleeding and stitches to close the wound to complete the treatment. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.